A nothing game for the Phillies tonight. They drop it to the Braves 7-2. A pretty ugly game all around. Phillies got a couple of solo home runs, but besides that, Ranger Suarez did not look like the Ranger Suarez we saw in his last start, and the offense was once again stagnant, back to their old ways. Players of the game tonight. Always do. I like to do two people, usually one offensive, one pitcher. But yeah, we're doing that tonight for the Braves. We always have to do it for the winners. Orlando Arcia, as much as we dislike him in Philadelphia, 2-3, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs tonight. Had that stare down on Bryce Harper during the Atlanta series, and he gets 2 more tonight to a loud crowd of boos. So as a Phillies fan, you hate to see him do so. As a baseball fan, it's pretty cool. He was an all-star last year. He's been struggling this year, and it looks like he's finally starting to pick it up for the Braves. So good news for Atlanta, not good news for the Phillies. And then Reynaldo Lopez, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 runs, 6 strikeouts. Did hit the over on both strikeouts. Had that as a bonus bet. So hit both of those. Reynaldo Lopez's line was 5.5. Finished with 6, and then Ranger Suarez, will get to him in a little bit. What happened to Ranger after the second inning? I don't know. It looked like he just was kind of changing his approach. Didn't look as comfortable, but I mentioned he does not do well against the Braves. That's what we need. We need a postseason Ranger. These were his stats against the Braves in his previous 2 starts against them this year. And tonight, he only went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, 5 hits, struck out 6. I mean, 5 of those came in the first 2 innings. He struck out the first 5 batters he saw. And after that, I really don't know what happened. You give up a long home run to Orlando Arcia, and then Sean Murphy goes yard right after that. Both went 400-plus feet. Murphy's went 400. Arcia's went 408. And then giving up another 421-footer to Orlando Arcia. So I don't know what happened. It looked like he changed his approach, and he's kind of just lost comfortability, lost a lot of confidence. So I applaud Rob Thompson for letting him go just 4 innings. He was struggling. It's his second start since coming back off of the injured list. You don't want to overwork him too well. If he's struggling, you don't want to aggravate anything. Maybe something got aggravated. I'm not here to speculate, but just throwing out possibilities. So we shall see what happened with Ranger Suarez. We'll see what Rob Thompson has to say. Runners in scoring positions, you cannot leave the guys at second and third. That's when they thrive, is when they get runners in scoring position, and they go through with it. Kansas City series, I think about 7 of their 11 runs were on the second night were from when runners were in scoring position. So it's always the games where they struggle with the runners in scoring positions, with the strikeouts. We said tonight you have to avoid the strikeouts because Reynaldo Lopez struck this team out 10 times the last time they saw them. Lopez did not strike 10 guys out tonight, but the Phillies did strike out 10 total times. Anytime they get over 10 strikeouts, I feel like they always lose. They could get 8, 7, and it's a closer game they can win, but I feel like anytime I look in that box score and I see 10 strikeouts, they lose. So Braves do like to strike people out, especially Reynaldo Lopez, one of the highest Ks per 9. Gives up 1 run tonight, so I don't know if his ERA went down at all. I want to check on that. I mean, his ERA is 2.02, so you give up a run, it might go down. Junior Marte gave up a run, but somehow his ERA went down a ton. His ERA went down 0.02, so he was at 2.02 tonight before the game, and now it is at 2.00. Junior Marte had like a 7 ERA and then gave up a run tonight, and it went back down to it didn't register yet, but he gave up a run. Max Lazar gave up 2 runs tonight. That's the first run he has given up as a big leaguer. He's been very good for the Phillies so far. Maybe he gets optioned tomorrow. I'd still think it's Junior Marte that's going to get optioned when Jose Alvarado is activated either tomorrow or Sunday. So we shall see. Schwarber and Turner didn't look good. They are I always say about how Harper is the kind of the X factor of this offense, but I mean, when Schwarber and Turner are off too, those are your top two guys at the lineup. If they are not providing, then the rest of the lineup usually doesn't follow. Kyle Schwarber struck out three times, I think, another three times. I feel like he's been striking out a lot recently. Struck out three times. Trey was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. So yeah, both guys 0 for 8. And you combine Castellanos, three of their top four guys were 0 for 11, which is pretty unacceptable. And then Bryce Harper said he was dealing with some injuries. I want to get this accurate because I think it was just, I think it's something with his wrist. Like he's been a little bit injured. I know he is dealing with injuries, and he said, I hope it's not an issue for October. I'll pull this up because I saw this. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. And then he goes, game, you find out he's dealing with injuries, and he goes 3 for 4. So, really good game for MV3. Can't find it. Injury. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, here we go. Elbow and wrist injuries. So that could explain why he hasn't hit a home run in a while. You saw it when he was coming back from his Tommy John surgery. He wasn't really a power guy. He was just a contact guy. He was hitting over 300, but wasn't hitting many home runs. But once he started to heal, that's when the power started to come back. So I don't anticipate a ton of Bryce Harper home runs for the rest of the season. Uh, Hopefully it's healed enough for the end of the regular season and the postseason, because Harper has hit some really, really clutch home runs. And another monumentous moment. Talk about tongue twister. Momentum making moments. They didn't really have any of those. They had two solo shots tonight. JT hit one, but then Orlando Arcia hit his second home run the very next inning, and then Bryson Stott hit one, and the Braves piled on more runs. But speaking of that Bryson Stott home run, let's see how we did on the triple play tonight. Now, we went 3 for 4. A really, really good night. Under 7.5 runs did not hit. It was 6-1, and the Braves got, or no, I don't know. But either way, the under did not hit. It was 7-2. So if we had gone over, we would have hit for the cycle. Ranger Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 180. That hit in the first 5 batters. He struck the first 5 guys he saw in the game, which is pretty cool. And then JT Realmuto over 1.5 HRR. He hit the home run. So obviously that catches. He gets a hit, he gets a run, and he gets an RBI. So we could have gotten away with over 2.5. And then the Bryson Stott bonus bet. If you bet this at plus 1,200, you would have won a pretty penny. And that would have been, I said it earlier. I said Brandon Marsh did it yesterday because I was looking at the odds yesterday. They were both plus 1,200. I was like, maybe I should say this, but I'm like, no, I'm going to go with Harper. But then you find out today Harper's dealing with the injury. So I would have gone with one of them yesterday. But at least we get it today, Bryson Stott at plus 1,200. So if you bet that, winning some money. You can win even more money. If you use that code HEAT, you get 50% off. Use that code HEAT at Win Daily. All the best bets. We use the Win Daily method here at Heat Ratio Sports, and you see what we did tonight. We hit 3 of 4. We hit Ranger Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts. We hit the JT Realmuto over 1.5 HRR. And then somehow, some way, the Bryson Stott home run at plus 1,200. So another fantastic night for the HRS triple play. But Phillies back at it tomorrow. Get more into that later. I usually do what's happening tomorrow at the very end. So I'll get to that. Not just Philly moments of the night. Again, rest in peace to Columbus Blue Jackets left winger Johnny Gaudreau, former All-Star, one of my favorite hockey players, a South Jersey native. Tragically, him and his brother passed away last night. So again, prayers to the Gaudreau family. A real tragedy. That it's been really the one good thing to have come out of this is that the hockey community has been united. It's just been beautiful seeing different stories about both of the brothers, not just Johnny. Obviously, Johnny's the more known of the two, but there were some stories about his brother that came out. One in particular, I forget. Apologies to somebody on Reddit. I can't credit because I don't remember your name, but he said I was trying out for like this lower end team, and everybody knew that I wasn't going to be there for much longer. But then Johnny Gaudreau's brother always made sure it introduced him to everyone, made sure he was involved in conversations. He's like he knew I wasn't going to be there that much longer, but he still involved me in every conversation and made me feel welcome. So two really great guys tragically losing their lives. So rest in peace to the brothers. They love chasing the sliders in the dirt, just standing there, not swinging them straight through. Too. Yeah, Phillies do like to do that, especially Trey Turner and Castellanos. They get inconsistent with the outside pitches. Yeah, please don't drink and drive. There's Uber now. If you know someone, please just do everything you can. Stay the night wherever you are. But please do not drink and drive. You've seen what can happen with the example of yesterday. Two innocent lives were lost, and now a man is going to be in jail for a considerable amount of time. So just please don't drink and drive. If you need to Uber. If you can get a taxi, get a taxi. If you have a friend or family member that can give you a ride home, please do that. Just be as safe as you can because we don't want to see any more accidents like we just saw. So yeah, again, prayers up to the Gaudreau family, travesty. But Dodgers, Diamondbacks, they play tonight. First pitch was a minute ago. They started at 9:40. Brewers were winning 4-0 against the Reds. Looks like they are going to win. So doubleheader for them today. So they will gain 2 games on the Phillies, unfortunately for the Phillies. And then some college football. Oklahoma is destroying Temple right now. I think the line was Oklahoma minus 40 something. And right now it's what, 38-0 last time I checked? What is it? It was there 37-0. Oh, it's 37-3 now. So Temple making it close. No. Temple really never stood a chance. Oklahoma is the 16th ranked team in the country, and Temple lost EJ Warner to Rice. So I'm not sure of any Temple players off the top of my head. I'm starting to get back into college football, but I know EJ Warner transferred from Temple to Rice. So Temple lost I wouldn't say a big name, but I mean, having a Hall of Fame Suns quarterback as your starter, pretty big deal. But they no longer have him. He is at Rice University now. So, yeah, Temple, not a good start to their season, but it was as expected. I mean, you're going to Oklahoma, the 16th ranked team in the entire country. You're going there for opening night on a Friday night. It's going to be tough to beat them, especially if you're a team in the American Athletic Conference. That's not as good of a conference as it used to be. Temple's not as good as they used to be. So, Temple getting a little beating from the Sooners right now. Let's see what the other scores are. Duke up 19-0 on Elon. Army beat Lehigh 42-7. Shout out to their Army starting center. He was a Mount Ephraim native or Audubon. Mount Ephraim native. Worked at Cabana Water Ice, so that's pretty cool. So shout out to him. Hopefully, we can get him on this program soon. Big win tonight. So we shall see. For all you wrestling fans, Bash in Berlin tomorrow. That's at 1 p.m. since it is in Germany. Who do I think is going to win? Clemson or Georgia? I'm going to go with Georgia. Georgia's too good. Those are two of the teams I do know. And my one buddy is huge Georgia fan, so I hear about them a lot more than I normally would. So I do think Georgia's going to win. Projecting a big season from them. Carson Beck could be a top pick in this year's NFL draft. So this could be the start of a potential Heisman candidacy season. We saw Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter ball out for Colorado yesterday. I know it was against North Dakota State, but still, numbers are numbers. You throw for 400 yards, and then Travis Hunter only sat for 1 snap in the entire game. That's pretty insane. So looking like Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter will both be top picks in this upcoming NFL draft. But will any of them win the Heisman? I think Carson Beck could give them a run for their money, but we shall see. It's week 1. It's too early to tell. Usually by like week 3 or 4, to when you get a good idea of like, okay, these guys are legit. This person's legit. Um, Bash at Berlin. Let me know your. Maybe I'll do my predictions here real quick. I was talking to Tony about potentially doing a video of just that, but the event's in little over 12 hours, so I'll get to that. What's up, Tubes? Will the Phillies ever play small ball? I don't think so. They're like a home run or bust team. I mean, you see it tonight. They get the 2 solo shots. Nobody's on base. And then when they do have runners on base, they don't do anything with it. So that's what loses you baseball games. And the Phillies need to not do that in order to win games, because in the playoffs, you see they get home run reliant. And then what happens? They stop hitting home runs and they go ice cold. So Phillies need to start playing small ball, because the little hits, those are what matter too. It's not just about ball go boom. You got to be able to put the ball in play, because you never know what's going to happen. Guy could make an error. You saw that play the other night with Alec Bohm where he hits it to center field and the 3 guys come running in and they just collapse. Like they don't catch it. An easy catchable ball and it drops because there's miscommunication between 3 guys. So Phillies need to find a way to start getting more contact. Let's go back to Bash at Berlin. 5-match card, the Triple H era. That's a common thing. A lot of people want more, but it's a B pay-per-view. There's usually 5 matches on this card. 4 championship matches, I believe. 3 championship matches, both world titles on the line. Gunther, Randy Orton. That should be the main event. I think Gunther's winning that. He's from Austria, but still like in Europe, close to where he's from. I think that match is going to be really good. His match with Orton at King of the Ring was pretty awesome, so I anticipate this one being even better with an even better crowd. The crowd for SmackDown tonight was pretty awesome. Shout out Ludwig Kaiser for getting the U.S. title shot in his home country, so that was pretty cool. But I do think Gunther's winning. I also think Cody's winning. Could Kevin Owens turn heel? I don't think it's going to happen at this show. That's like a main event angle. I don't think he's going to ever turn heel again per se, but I think Kevin Owens will definitely get more grittier and back to like that tweener role, but more so a good guy. But I do think Cody Rhodes is retaining the WWE title. Yeah, Cody will win. There's only 3 people I could potentially see beating him for that belt. It's either The Rock, which I think is the most likely option because Raw's going to Netflix. That would be a huge thing to have The Rock as your champion, but I don't know if Triple H would want to do that. Who else? Roman Reigns, because obviously guy Cody beat. Roman held the title for almost 4 years. So I think that will happen at next year's SummerSlam in Wembley Stadium. I believe that's where it's going to be, just because John Cena, it'll be his last SummerSlam, and he's always talked about performing in London. So I do think, I'm predicting, this is no way, shape, or form even being close to like reported. I know Triple H had the meeting to bring WrestleMania to London. I don't think that'll happen for a few years, with All In and AEW happening there. Not next year, which is a key, because All In is not in Wembley next year. It was in last year, this year, and then in 2026 it will be, but not 2025. So that makes me think that there's something booked, a big wrestling show already, and I think that could be SummerSlam. So I don't see Cody losing that belt for a while, either The Rock, Roman Reigns, or Seth Rollins. I could see that being a WrestleMania match this year. If they go the Rock Roman route, I do think Cody could face Seth Rollins, because that'd be a cool story. Maybe it's like he's doing what he did with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. He's like, you guys help me, so I would like to give you a title shot. Yeah, I do think he'll get it back at some point. I'm pretty convinced that the bloodline stuff is going to go until WrestleMania. I would assume it's going to be Rock and Roman. I really don't want Cody and Rock over Rock and Roman, because I feel like the story's there, with Roman now feuding with Solo. He's going to probably assemble the Usos and Sami Zayn back as a team. So I do think it's Rock and Roman. It's in Las Vegas. There's not a stage bigger than that. One of the most popular cities in the world. So I definitely think Reigns will get it back at some point, but not anytime soon. I think he will be in contention for it probably this time next year, if not maybe a little bit earlier, if The Rock wins the title and then Roman wins it back at WrestleMania. I don't see them doing that, but I think Reigns will get it back at some point. what are the other match? Dom Mysterio and Liv Morgan against Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Um, I would normally say Damian and Rhea, but they can't lose two pay-per-views in a row, right? Or sorry, premium live events. They can't lose two in a row, right? They're two of the biggest stars in Rhea's one of, if not the biggest star in the women's division right now. And then Damian Priest has built himself up so much. A Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey product. Pretty cool that he won his first world title in Philly, just 20 miles from where he wrestled. I saw him and Matt Riddle team up a few times. So that's I've always been rooting for him when he was Ring of Honor and then he signed with NXT. And then it was rise on the main roster. Now one of probably the top babyface on Raw right now. Yeah, I would say he's the top babyface on Raw, but I don't know. I could see Liv and Dom winning this because then you set up Liv and Rhea at Bad Blood and then potentially Finn and Damian because I don't think the Damian Judgment Day feud ends until you have that blow off match with Finn Balor. So I could see Dom winning, but I also want to see Rhea Ripley hit him with a riptide and pin him. I think that would be a perfect way to end it. But maybe that's how you get to the rematch because Rhea's like, hey, we beat you. I get a world title match, and then Damian can go off and do his thing with Finn. But I am going to go with Rhea and Damian. I've talked myself into it. I kind of was leaning towards Liv and Dom, but I definitely do think Dom gets pinned, whether that's by Rhea or Damian. Definitely going to get pinned. And then, yeah, Bloodline Civil War at Survivor Series. So I don't know. Is that going to be Raw or SmackDown? Because Roman Reigns is a free agent, so he can go to Raw. Is he going to go to Raw and try to recruit Jey Uso and Sami Zayn? I think that will happen at some point. So I guess I guess there'll be SmackDown technically because it's usually one brand. It's a men's and a women's. So if the men on like last year, the men on Raw got the War Games match, so the women on SmackDown got the other War Games match. So I guess the women on Raw will get it this year. I don't know who that would really be. Damage Control maybe involved if Asuka comes back. Is Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, is she going to come back? Is she going to join Judgment Day? I have no idea. CM Punk or Drew McIntyre, 100% CM Punk. The speculated thing is that it's a trilogy, SummerSlam, Bash in Berlin, and then Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. That's going to be the payoff match. So I definitely do think CM Punk will win tomorrow. I do think it's going to be a really good match. A lot of people don't like the tapping the four corners because strap matches in the recent memory, it's usually just been, attached to a strap first to get a pinfall. But this is they're tied to the strap, obviously, into each other, and you got to touch the four corners in order to win. Yeah, Faj. I do think it will steal the show. I don't know if it'll be the best match because I really think Randy and Gunther with that crowd is going to be the best match. But I definitely could see this one being, if it's not Gunther Randy, it's definitely this one. But I do think CM Punk is going to win, and then that will prompt the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. Give that the main event. I know it's in Atlanta, Cody's hometown, but I don't care. Give that the main event, especially if it's in Hell in a Cell. And then the final match is the women's tag titles, Bianca and Jade versus Alba, Fire, and Isla Dawn. I really don't know because I'm going to just say Bianca and Jade, and then eventually I think Damage Control will beat them. But I really love Io Sky. I think she should not be back in the tag division. Same thing with Bianca. Bianca is just a main eventer. She's one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster. Was really hoping to see her versus Rhea Ripley at the past two WrestleManias. So eventually I think we'll get that. But I do think this upcoming year it'll be Bianca versus Jade. I mean, they could even save that for next year. But I do think eventually they are going to start building towards that. But I think that they have to win the titles because the women's tag titles haven't really been doing much recently. And I think Bianca and Jade get that because when they had those titles, they were being defended on premium live events and they were getting a lot more TV time. So it's good for that division, gets more eyes on that, gets them more ring action, more promo time. So it's better for them all around when Bianca and Jade have the titles while they build up the other groups that Pure Fusion Collective Collection. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that group so far. Damage Control is awesome. Love Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Dakota Kai and Asuka both out with injuries. I did go to WrestleMania night one. We were all the way at the top. Couldn't really see the entrance ramp, but still, it was worth it. Freezing cold, but so worth it. Just to say you got to go to a WrestleMania. Always dreamt of going to one in Philly, so really, really glad. And oh man, it was a great time. It was an awesome time. The Rock's entrance was probably my favorite part. And seeing Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson was awesome. But night two, I was glad I was home, or I was not home. I was in Florida. I flew back that morning because I started my final classes that day or the next day. So I'm glad I got to see night two from the TV because night one wasn't as good, like terms of matches, but I mean, still being there is just unbelievable. And to see the Cody Roman match, and the Damian cash in from the start. So you got a good night to go to, especially if you got. I mean, even being there, you get John Cena, The Rock, and Undertaker. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Phillies play at 7. It's a nationally televised game. I believe it's on Fox. Don't know if Joe Davis is calling the game. I would assume not. So it's probably, is it Adam Adden? I don't know. I don't know who calls I don't like watching it on Fox. I'll just turn on the radio, put it on mute, and then turn on Fransky. But Max Fried, 8-7, a 3.50 ERA, going up against Zach Wheeler. Wrong side. See, I get mixed up with the way the camera is on here. Wheeler Day tomorrow. Wheels up. He is 12-6, 2.74 ERA. Had a solid outing against the Braves last time they saw him. Pregame is live here tomorrow at 6:15. Could be 6:30. We'll see. But as of right now, planning on it being 6:15. Reminder, Monday, trying to do an NFL predictions video. So stay tuned on news for that. So, yeah, pregame is live tomorrow. Yeah, wheels up, baby. Let's go. Point at the right one, too. Shocked I did. So, appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully, see you all tomorrow at 6:15. I've been Tyler Mroz for Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing and pressing that notification bell. You'll get notified when we go live. Follow Tony Cotillo on all socials at Rise with Tony. Follow me on my socials at Tyler Mroz5, Mroz.Tyler, whatever variation of my name I have. So, again, thanks for tuning in tonight. Hopefully we can see you tomorrow here on the pregame show. This has been Tyler Mroz for the postgame show. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. And as always, stay fresh, my friends.